Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. My name is Ananya, and I'm a nurse practitioner, coach, and mentor. I help new grads step into their practice with confidence and clarity. And today we're going to be talking about the 5 tips that you need to know as a new grad pediatric NP and why it's important. So let's get started. So, the first tip that I always tell all of the new grads that I talk to is creating a timeline. Creating a timeline that works for you, and that begins even before you graduate. So, there are so many things that you're going to be coming up that need to have a organized timeline. You need to study for boards. You need to start doing your licensure. You need to start looking for jobs. All of these things have to be done in parallel, with the licensure part being done after you take the boards. However, for studying for boards and job seeking, that needs to be done in parallel. So the first thing I recommend is creating a timeline. It can be as simple as sketching it out with a piece of paper and pen, and then putting it into a project management tool such as Asana, ClickUp, Trello, so you can keep track of where you are, your progress, and where your shortcomings are so that you can catch up before you graduate. Tip number 2, creating a network and really tapping into your warm network first. So I'm sure you're wondering, what does a warm network mean, or what do I do with it? So a warm network is the people that you know right in front of you that you've connected and had relationships with, who know, like, and trust you. This is the first and best way to tap into your network for job seeking strategies, because people already can vouch for you, and that is the best way. Did you know that 75% of hires for clinical positions are direct word of mouth or referrals from internal? Well, that means that you really need to leverage your warm network and the people that you know, because the more you do that, the more likely you are to get those positions rather than just applying on Indeed and search engines. So you need to re-engage those people that you know, whether it's professors, if you're an alumni of a school, reaching back out to the Alumni Association to see the directory of people who are working in your field, and then people that you know who you've worked with as an RN or in your clinical rotations. It could be your preceptor, the nurse manager, making sure that you have their contact information and just re-engaging with them. That's going to be really important. Let them know, hey, I'm going to graduate in a few months, or I just graduated and I'm looking for a position. I am open to this, this, and this. Let them know that, so that even if nothing is open at that exact time, they have your information and it's on the radar, and you're on their top of mind campaign, so that you know exactly when a position opens. You will get that insight. All right, number 3, creating a unforgettable portfolio. So while it sounds a little bit daunting, it's absolutely not. Creating a portfolio is going to help you not only look professional, but stay organized with all of your information in one document. And this is something you can use as a student, especially as you're graduating. And then anytime you're having an interview, you can carry that portfolio with you to showcase your skills. This is your opportunity to showcase your skills, your talents, what you've done as a volunteer, your past work experience. And in that portfolio, you need to have few key things. So your resume, cover letter, of course, your transcripts, and any work that you've done that is a QI project, a published paper, a presentation that you're really proud of. Have those ready to have. Also have references on hand, and then add your nursing philosophy. It could be a 1-page double-spaced philosophy where you just talk about your vision for the next 3 to 5 years, your philosophy as a nurse practitioner, what you believe in and what you bring to the table there. And it's different from a resume or a cover letter, because you're highlighting things as a personal individual that you're not listing out in list form in those resume and cover letter forms. So keep that in mind. And then bring that portfolio no matter what interview you go to, so that in the event that you are asked a question, you can showcase those skills and provide that to your potential employer. Number 4, so beefing up your resume and optimizing your LinkedIn page is going to be one of the best ways to get yourself out there and let recruiters and other people know that you are looking for open positions. So resume building is extremely important, and there are so many ways that you can go about it, but it's really important no matter what you do, if you're doing it on your own, to have a few key things in place, which is having a correct title at the top, a contact information that works and is not a link to your previous university, but one that you will be able to be reached at no matter the length of time. And then also having actionable words. So under each of your roles, whether it was RN, clinical rotations, making sure that you're using actionable words, and that can be found from Bloom's taxonomy. If you Google that, you can definitely find that, and I can link that below as well so you can look at what I'm talking about. Make sure you're using those key words to define the type of skills that you showcase in the previous places of work, okay? So really beefing up your resume, making sure your clinical rotations are lined up and they highlight what you've done. How many patients did you see? Did you work in a level 1 trauma? How many annual visits did that trauma level have? Put that in and showcase it beautifully for your clinical rotations if you are a new grad who is relying on those rotations to showcase your skills. Level up your LinkedIn. This is so important. So you want to optimize your page, have a professional headshot picture. If you don't have a professional headshot, get in front of a white wall at home, get your iPhone out and edit that on Canva or Photoshop to create the lighting and post that on LinkedIn. And make sure you clean up your LinkedIn so that it is extremely apparent that you are seeking new job opportunities. And in the About Me section that you go into exactly why you're qualified, what sets you apart. Do you speak another language? Are you Spanish speaking? Do you have experience doing primary care? Do you work with underserved communities? And is that your passion? Let that be known in the About Me section. And then your skills, make sure that your friends and colleagues who can vouch for you can endorse those skills at the bottom of LinkedIn so that that becomes your top 3 skills that people see, that recruiters see when they're looking for new grads. And then recommendations. Make sure that someone that you know can write you a really well recommendation is putting that recommendation on LinkedIn so that it stands out. It helps you stand out in front of a crowd. All right, so now we are on to tip number 5. Thank you for staying with me. So tip number 5 is creating a top 5 list of non-negotiables. What are non-negotiables? So as you're beginning your job search as a new grad, you're going to run into a lot of different types of jobs. And in order to really streamline what is important to you that you are not going to negotiate on, I want you to create top 5 things that you're not going to negotiate on, and then rank them in order of importance. So for example, if distance from home is important to you, then put that on the list. If getting CME money and working in an academic institution is a non-negotiable, put that on the list. If having a supportive system where you can become a leader and climb that ladder in the clinical arena is important to you, put that on the list. So that you have an idea when you go into these interviews and you're negotiating jobs and accepting offers, you know that these are things that you're not willing to negotiate on. And it's very clear. So you can get that information in the interview and you can make better decisions. So I hope that this was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments what other things that you want to see as a new grad NP so that I can help create that content and bring you that information. If this was helpful, then subscribe at the bottom. And if you're looking for more tips on new grad NP and stepping into practice, then I invite you to a masterclass that I'm having. It's the Transition Roadmap. So please register for free. It's a free masterclass where I give away 5 things that you need to be doing right now as a new grad and the exact next steps to get there. Register in the link below that I will register or leave for you. And then lastly, follow me, connect with me on IG, on Instagram, where I give daily tips on Insta stories and connect with you to learn more about how I can provide content for you. So I hope this was helpful and I hope to see you on the next episode and hopefully on Instagram and the masterclass. Take care.